everybody? It's me, friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and welcome to another episode in my hard debate series that I'm collaborating with my good buddy Carlin Cook. In this series, we are debating a wide array of topics in the horror genre. We're both going to be debating a topic, and after you watch my video, please go to Carlin's video, link down in the description. Watch his video with the same title, and then he'll have a community tab on his page, and we need to vote for who you thought had the better argument. Was it me? Was it him? Or did we tie? We also would love to know in the comments below what your stance on this topic is. We'd love to hear from you. Well, what is that topic? Well, about a month ago, we debated what is the best horror remake. Today, we're debating what is the worst horror remake. Now, there are a lot of bad horror movie remakes out there. It's probably easier to pick out a bad remake than a good remake. Now, originally, I wanted to pick the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Some of my friends know how much I hate that movie. I've ranted on and on about how much I hate that movie. However, Carl selected that film, and I think I actually have a better selection for worst horror remake. I selected Cabin Fever from 2016. It was harder to pick the worst remake than the best remake since there are so many bad ones, and I went with Cabin Fever since I think there was no need for a remake. You have movies like The Fog, Nightmare on Elm Street, Martyrs, Psycho, The Wicker Man, even though I love the hell of that gloriously bad movie, Black Christmas, House of Wax, Prom Night, 13 Ghosts, all arguably really bad remakes. But the reason I selected Cabin Fever, why it stood out, is all those other movies were remakes of classic or iconic horror movies. Now, the original Cabin Fever came out in 2002, and the remake was in 2016. Was anybody asking for a remake of Cabin Fever? I mean, the first one was fun and all, but it's not a movie that I think anybody was looking for it to be remade so soon. I can see having a remake to bring a classic horror movie into the modern times, even though a lot of them are bad. I can see, taking challenges and chances with making these remakes. Now, some even disrespected the original, but I just didn't see a reason for remaking Cabin Fever. The movie had a sequel and a prequel, but that's not a franchise people were clamoring about for a remake. I mean, the original had a Rotten Tomato score of 62% and 44%. Pretty well as far as 2000 horror movies go. But the remake has a score of 0% and 12%, which is one of the lowest I've ever seen for a horror movie. My big problem with Cabin Fever is they did nothing new with the story. They only changed, like, the only noticeable change I saw was changing the sheriff from a man to a woman. All the characters were the name. They used the same names. They even used the same script. IMDb has both movies written by Eli Roth and Randy Perlstein. The director of the remake didn't change anything of any real significance. Some of the death scenes were changed slightly, but that was the point of only changing that. I just didn't see it. I mean, it was the same movie beat for beat, only done way worse. A lot of scenes are even shot in the same way, like when they're sitting at the campfire. It's almost shot for shot the same exact scene. It plays out the same way. The characters, like I said, they even have the same names. It just wasn't even if this movie wasn't a remake, it was just a standalone, the first of its kind. It would have been a bad movie. It just wasn't done well. It was filled with boring tropes and cliches. The characters also made the dumbest decisions possible. No one had any semblance of any common sense in this film. You have Paul trying to put Karen out of her misery, and he botches killing her with the shovel, just like shaving her jaw off, cutting her face off. And then the idiot burns her alive to try and put her out of his misery. You want all the characters to die in this movie. They're all just despicable, just not really people, no one to root for. Everyone in this movie is just dumb. You're just waiting to see how bad they're going to die. In the original, you had the ending with Jeffrey, who was the only person in the film to not get infected. At the very end, he's celebrating the fact that he made it. He's cheering, he made it. Then he gets shot and killed. I mean, that was a nice little ending to the ending, nice little nod, I should say, to the ending of the original Night of the Living Dead. But the remake even manages to mess that up. They showed that Jeff was infected, and then he was like celebrating and like, oh no, he's infected, and then he gets shot. That took away any impact the original ending had on the audience. It was supposed to that original ending like, oh damn, that's a messed up thing to happen. But the remake even goofed that up. Oh yeah, he was infected, so of course he got shot. You just took the best part of the original and took it out of the remake. And yeah, the changes in this movie were only made to be like slightly different than the original. It was a lazy movie with boring characters that nobody even really cared about. I'm going to argue there was no point to this remake. A lot of other remakes out there, you can see why they remade them to bring this, classic from 20, 30, 40 years ago into modern times. And they may even try different things. Like the Black Christmas remake was pretty different from the original. You still had the core back there, but it was like two killers. So you can see why they would take a chance with changing something that significant about the original, whether you like it or not. At least they took a chance. This movie didn't even do that. They used the same script, and you took some of the comedy out, and you changed the sex of the sheriff, which added nothing or took nothing away from the film. The first one was okay, but that's it. The movie was just okay. It was an okay movie, nothing too bad. I'd watch it again, sure, but all of the comedy was removed from this movie. Those little comedic, jaunts in the first one was taken out, and nothing was really added in. It's just I reckon there was no point in it. That's my biggest issue. The Cabin Fever remake is just as bad as other remakes out there. But for me, what makes it the worst is they didn't take any chances with making the changes. They used the same script, same characters, same plot, step for step. It was just a completely pointless and lazy remake of a movie that was okay at best. Well, there we go. Thanks for watching. Now, please go to Carlin's channel. I have a link down in the description and watch his side of the debate. And then he'll have a poll up under the community tab on his page. And we would love if you would vote for who you thought had the better argument. And let me know in the comments down below on what film you think is the worst horror remake. I would definitely love to read that. Thanks again, everybody. I will see you here on Friday for my Nails in a Coffin series. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on both of our channels. We both work really hard to put out at least 1 or 2 videos a week. I think Carlin even puts out more than that. So please check out both of our channels. Hit that subscribe button. It'll keep us motivated to keep putting out this comment. And we'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care. Take care of yourselves and each other. Be good to each other. I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. And remember, with great kills, there must also come great nails.